Is Chris Kreider a better player than Alexis Lafreniere? Kreider, Lafreniere. You decide. Welcome back to EDI Sports Cards. In this episode, we're actually going to go head-to-head Chris Kreider versus Alexis Lafreniere. I know a lot of you in the last video were basically upset with the fact that I keep kind of dogging on Chris Kreider. And so what I want to do is I want to clear up some confusion. So on this channel, there's the fan me, and then there's the fantasy GM me. And in the last few videos, I've been doing fantasy GM because the fan likes Chris Kreider. But when I look at this team and the fact that they got booted by the New Jersey Devils, who just got crushed by the Carolina Hurricanes in the second round, my feeling on this is this team that we have is not good enough to win a Stanley Cup with Chris Kreider. Now, I know that's like, it's heartbreaking. The fan side of me is heartbroken because I like Chris Kreider. But we're going to look at his stats, we're going to look at his career, we're going to really break down the numbers, and then we're going to compare them to Alexis Lafreniere. Now, obviously, Alexis Lafreniere has only a few years in the league, okay? So Chris Kreider's been in the league way longer. Chris Kreider's also over 30, and Alexis Lafreniere's in his early 20s. So we need to make sure we're aware that we're comparing apples to oranges, not apples to apples. But we're going to look at Chris Kreider's actual production, not the fantasy numbers that you all think that he has, and really do a side-by-side comparison. So if you want to do that with me, stay tuned in this video. All right, so let's get to the first piece. Now, most of you don't know Chris Kreider's 5-on-5 hockey stats. You see the end of the season stats and you get all crazy, like 2 years ago when he had 52 goals. So I'm going to show you his 5-on-5 stats first because I think it's interesting to see what Chris Kreider does when he's not on the power play. All right? Because we talk about production, and again, we'll see what his production is when he's not on the power play. All right. 2018-19. Chris Kreider played 79 games. He had 21 goals for the season. Again, these are 5-on-5 stats. In 1920, he had 63 games, only scored 15 goals. In 2021, remember that was the shortened season, so he played 50 games, 9 goals. In 21-22, that's his magic year where he scored 52. He had played 81 games and he had 37 goals. And then last year, he played 79 games and he had 28 goals. That's it. Those are his 5-on-5 stats. That's what he scores when he's not on the power play. So that's your real production that you're asking for Chris Kreider. So the best season was obviously 2 years ago. He had 37 5-on-5. Last year he put in 28, but he did have one season that he did score 21 5-on-5. That was multiple years ago in 2018-19. All right. Now I put TOI, that's time on ice. Now I want that there because I want you to see the time on ice that Kreider has, and then I want you to see the time on ice that Lafreniere has. So I want you to see the comparison because time on ice is a really important factor in terms of production. So if you get more ice time, you should be able to produce more. That's at least the premise, and that's why players get a certain amount of ice time. Now, Chris Kreider was getting 15 minutes and 43 seconds a game. That was back in 13-14 when he first started, okay? That's typical for young players to get that kind of ice time. I'm going to do the right side. You're going to see points and time on ice, just so we make this clear. So points, time on ice, we'll run through the stats, just so that we're all clear as to what you're looking at, because there's a lot of stats going to be on the screen. If you want to press pause and kind of look at this, you want to screenshot it, that's totally fine. But here, we're going to stay on the right side of this graph. In 13-14, Chris Kreider had 37 points in 15 minutes and 43 seconds. In 14-15, Kreider had 46 points in 15 minutes and 42 seconds. 15-16, 43 points in 15:57. So you can kind of see he made some progress there. He went from 37 up to about mid-40s in terms of production. So he was definitely improving. But now here's where I want you to see the issue. So in 16-17, he bumps up to 53 points in 17 minutes. So that's good. He gets more ice time, more production. And then back down to 37 points in 15 and 37 minutes. And then here we go. So 52 points in 17 minutes and 24 seconds. 19-20, 45 points in 17-14. Do you see how the production is starting to come back down? He's getting the minutes, but he's not putting the puck in the net. He's not getting assists. He's not getting goals. He's not getting any production. So it's starting to actually decline. All right. Now you have 2021. He gets 30 points with 17 minutes and 23 seconds. The magical year was 21-22. He had 77 points with 18 minutes and 43 seconds. And last year he comes back down to earth. He had 54 points with 18 minutes and 24 seconds on ice. So you can really see that Kreider has hit the ceiling. He is basically a 50 to 55 point guy playing 18 minutes. That's not a lot of production. That's your top player who's basically not getting even close to a point a game. He's so far off, it's not good. He's barely over half a point a game. It's just not enough production for somebody who's playing that many minutes. Let's look at the power play myth for Chris Kreider, because this is really where Kreider's legend begins. It lives and dies with the power play. So let's take a look at it. So in 18-19, Kreider had 7 goals and 5 assists on the power play. In 19-20, he had 9 goals, 5 assists. In 2021, he had 11 goals, 3 assists. The magical year, 21-22, he had 26 goals and 9 assists. And last year, he's back down to earth. He only scored 8 goals and 9 assists. Do you see the problem here? So if Chris Kreider does not produce on the power play, he's just not that effective. It's sad to say that really his best years are behind him, but you can see it from the stats. He's declining every single year. And unless he gets lucky on the power play, he's got no goals. He's got no assists. He's got no production. So he's a problem because you keep slotting him up at the top minutes, and he's really pulling minutes away from other players who could possibly have way more production than him, namely Lafreniere. So let's take a look at Lafreniere's stats. So here we go. In 2021, so that was again the shortened season, he played 56 games, he had 12 goals, 9 assists, 21 total points, and if you look, he only played 13 minutes and 52 seconds. Now that's less than what Kreider was playing. Kreider was playing 15 minutes a game. So Lafreniere's not getting the ice time. Now, last year in 2021, he played 79 games. He had 19 goals and 12 assists. He was still playing less than 14 minutes a game. Again, still not playing as much as Kreider did in his first couple years. And then last year, he finally breaks 15 minutes, and he scores 16 goals, 23 assists, 39 points in 15 minutes and 19 seconds on ice. That's production. He is really he's better than Kreider. Again, same amount of time, he scores more. He doesn't get any power play minutes. He did not play on the power play. So that's all 5-on-5. Maybe he had 1 goal on the power play this year. So, I'm telling you, he's got way more production. So let's look at a side-by-side comparison. Kreider played 79 games, had 36 goals, 18 assists, 54 points. Look at how much ice time Kreider had. He had 18 minutes and 24 seconds on the ice, which was 2 minutes and 19 seconds more than Lafreniere. And look at Lafreniere's stats. He played 81 games. He had 16 goals, 23 assists, 39 points. He was only playing 15 minutes and 19 seconds. So that's not much of a difference. Like 54 to 39, playing 2 less minutes per game. So here's my point. Here's my projections for next season. If Kreider and Lafreniere are on this team and you flip-flop it, like, so give Lafreniere the minutes and take the minutes away from Kreider, okay? So this is what I think. If you could do that, you can flip it. So you'll take a look at this. So here you go. For next year, Chris Kreider will play 75 games. He'll have 17 goals, 23 assists, 42 points if he gets 15 minutes and 25 seconds on ice. And Lafreniere in 80 games will have 31 goals, 30 assists, 61 points if he gets 17 minutes and 45 seconds on the ice. Those are my projections. Now, I'm open to you arguing them. I'm open to you doing your own stats analysis. I'm open to you saying that Lafreniere can't score that much or Kreider just had an off year. But, I mean, the stats say a story. I can't say the stats don't lie because you can manipulate stats. But the stats, to me, tell a story. And the story it says is that Chris Kreider is not that effective 5-on-5. So I would rather give Alexis Lafreniere more time on ice so that he can actually build his career and build his game. And I think if you gave him that much time, again, that's not even as much as Kreider was playing. Kreider was playing 18 and a half minutes a game. So this is a minute less than what Kreider was getting. And I still think Alexis can probably put in 30 goals. So 30 goals, 30 assists, that's 60 points. That's more than what Kreider puts in. Like, he's a career 50-point guy. So Lafreniere could put in 60 in the same amount of time. So that's a better production value. I think Lafreniere is better than Kreider. That's my opinion. But I'm open to your suggestions and your comments. Like I said, all the comments that I've gotten so far on all the videos have been outstanding. I read through them. Some of you Ranger fans really know hockey. Not surprised at all. But like, you really know the game and you've been breaking it down, even as I've been breaking it down and saying, well, I don't know if this is correct. And if you do that, you'd have to have this. You're right. Those are great analysis points, and I've been taking them into consideration as I keep making more and more videos. I'm getting feedback from you guys on where you think these stats, these lines need to be. But I thought it would be helpful to maybe do a side-by-side comparison of Kreider and Lafreniere, just so you can see that I think Lafreniere is better than Chris Kreider. All right. I want to thank you guys for joining. I'll see you in the next video.
Yeah, I think it's a different level of disappointment. I think we kind of, went as far as we possibly could last year. We were certainly on our last legs when we lost in Game 6 to Tampa. A lot of injuries really, poured everything out. I just felt like we had, we had more hockey in us this year, obviously.